Hello, welcome to the Eclectic Interest of Alex. I'm Alex. This is a show called Dear Aya, in which I put videos to my daughter, Aya, on YouTube for her to watch at any time in the future that they might help her. If you're not my daughter, Aya, you are free to watch too. But if you are my daughter, Aya, then this is especially for you. Dear Aya, it is okay to cry. A lot of people will tell you that. And I just wish that I had not spent 15 plus years of my life not really fully believing that and not crying at all. Or well, sometimes I got that eye watery thing when you're like really overtired, super tired, and your eye just leaks water. That doesn't count. That's not crying. But for 15 plus years, I didn't have any real crying. When I was really little, very young, and even when I was a little less young, preteen, I cried a lot, often with great intensity. So much so that a lot of my mom's adult friends thought I might be emotionally disturbed or just would start crying at things that they didn't see as reasons to cry, but I sure saw them as reasons to cry, so I would cry. Then when I was about 11 or 12, I met a guy a year or two older than me, and his name was Martin, and he had opinions on crying. He had lots of opinions on various things, and I really respected his opinion. That might not be. How about I worshipped his opinion? Because I was getting to that age where you like girls, and he was able to like get girls to talk to him and make out with them. Who knows what else? So yeah, he seemed to like have some kind of magical power. Thus, I really respected his opinion. And he would ask me like, why do you cry so much? Like, you're never gonna get anywhere in life without crying. And he told me that crying is like a conscious decision. Like, you could decide whether or not you want to cry, and if you don't want to cry, you could just not do it. And that blew my mind. Like, that did not seem real. Like, that was not real life. But subsequent times, like things would happen, I would be ready to cry, and I would test it out, and lo and behold, you do have a lot of mental control over whether you cry or not. You can block it. In the early 80s, my mom's dad, Willard, passed away, and I cried when he did. And that was to be the last time I cried for quite a while, because I cried because I was profoundly sad, but I was feeling a certain sort of way about the crying and crying in general, and I was thinking that I was going to make more of a concerted effort to just not cry and not feel some of my feelings. And so later in the 1980s, my mom's mom passed away, and I was a lot closer to her. I had a lot more affectionate feelings and more interactions with her. At my grandmother's funeral, my grandmother was so beloved by so many people, and mostly everybody was crying except me. There were so many times where it would have been perfectly reasonable to cry, and I just didn't. Crying could have helped me move through some things, and crying needs to happen sometimes. And me, I had cut it off. And a funny thing happened to me after a while of having cut it off was I found that I couldn't even turn it back on. Like, there would be movies, like the super sad movies where my mom, my girlfriend would be crying, and I would like to, I would like decide that I would like to cry just to show off, like I'm a sensitive guy or something like that. And nothing. And it went on and on and on for 15 years until my mom passed away. This is basically a story, not to tell you that story. This is a story to tell you about my favorite cry in my whole entire life, which was only possible because I had regained the ability to cry. My most momentous cry I've ever experienced in my life was the day that you were born. It was not a lot of crying. I think I shed one tear, and it wasn't like any kind of ugly cry or any kind of your mom likes to have a lot of people around. Your mom invited a great many people to your birth. Um, Either all or very nearly all. I think everybody cried. There may have been one or two or three exceptions. There were a lot of people, but there was a lot of crying to be witnessed. But whereas I think that almost everybody there was crying tears of joy, I was crying tears of joy that were a bit overshadowed by a tear of joy that was part joy, but it was a feeling of relief. I had been trying to become a parent of a child for a very long time, felt to me, since I don't know, for a very, very long time. And any time that almost happened or was going in the direction of happening or it never really came to fruition. While your mom was pregnant with you, she would be like, we're gonna have a baby. I could see that she was pregnant. Clearly, we were going to have a baby. Intellectually, I could work it out that we were on our way towards having a baby. But something deep inside of me would not let me really fully believe that I was going to be a parent until I had irrefutable proof. And the day would get closer and closer, and your mom would be worried, where are you? Don't you see we are about to have a baby? And I would say, yes, I see, but it was just, there was something, I just fully, I couldn't fully feel the joy until I saw you with my own eyes. And the moment that I did see you and you were alive and you were going to live and be my child, I got hit with the biggest wave of relief that I have ever felt in my whole entire life. So it was just massive. And on top of just the feeling of elation and joy of a child is born, those two feelings in combination were just they were just indescribably huge. Yeah, I'm 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 so glad that I regained the ability to cry. Um, and I hope that you retain your ability to cry and use it where it's needed. And I love you.